When I was in middle school at St. Joseph, I had my acting debut. My first time ever acting, and it was during our Christmas school play. And it was a very short-lived career. It was the only play that I ever acted in. And there was a reason that Hollywood never called me. I was really never quite good at that. I gave it a shot, but I was never quite good at acting. And to be very honest with you, I don't really remember much about this play, this only play I was ever in. I don't remember the title of it. I don't remember the plot other than that it told the Christmas story. I don't remember my role. I don't remember my lines, even though I only had about 3 that comprised maybe 15 to 20 words. But what I do remember was that Ms. Gwen was the director. She was my teacher. I always enjoy reminding people that she was my teacher when I was in middle school. But then also, I remember that towards the end of the play, we sang a song. And I had to memorize this song, and it was called We Three Kings. And perhaps you've heard it. It's a fan favorite at this time of year, We Three Kings. And so whenever I hear this song, it always reminds me of my time at St. Joseph's School. But above all, through memorizing these lyrics way back in the day, I was able to enter into the story of the wise men, of the Magi. And you're able to accompany them on this grand, fantastic, beautiful journey that they found themselves on. And the story is told from their perspective. It's told from their point of view. And it's incredibly moving to see what they had experienced. And the song begins by, "We 3 kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star." So even from the very beginning of the song, we learn about these men. We 3 kings. They were kings. They were true kings in their sense of the part of the world that they came from. They had great social and political status where they were from. And the next line of Orient, they were from the east. They were from around the area of Persia, and they would have had good influence of who would be the rulers, who would have been the priest of that area. And so why is it important? Why is it significant at all that they are from the east? But it shows the goodness and the great divine plan of God the Almighty. That God the Almighty called even these men from the east to follow the star leading to his son. And it reveals that this child born unto us, this child born into the world on Christmas Day, was not just the one born for the people of Israel. He was not just born for the chosen people of the house of David, but truly this child was born for all, Jew and Gentile alike. That he was truly for us all. That he was the one that would come to conquer sin. He was the one who would rule over all people, all nation of every time. That is what the beginning of this song shows us. And these kings are bearing gifts, traversing afar. And so it's strange for us to imagine that these kings would be bringing gifts. They're kings. They should be receiving gifts, not giving gifts. But it shows that they knew in their heart of hearts that the one that they were following was truly greater than they. What fantastic humility in that. And so then the song continues by describing this star, a star of wonder, a star of night, star of royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. And so this star illuminating the night sky, leading them to where they ought to go. This light in the heavens, leading them to the true light. And that true light, brothers and sisters, is named Jesus. And so we follow this journey of them proceeding to the west, to Bethlehem, to see Jesus, with their eyes focused in the heavens, their feet walking on this earth, and their hearts bowed down in humble adoration. Eyes in the heaven, feet on the ground, and heart bowed down in adoration. This is the mentality, the spiritual disposition of our wise men. And then so from this introduction describing who they were and what they were following, then we start to learn more about the gifts that they bring and what these gifts signify. And we all can list the gifts that they brought. They brought gold and frankincense and myrrh. But the wise men begin by telling us about them one by one. And they begin with gold. Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. And so it may seem strange to us to bring a baby bricks of gold. What can the baby do with gold? Maybe later he can do something with it, but now, gold? Isn't there something more practical to give the baby? But truly, this gift represents a reality of Christ. And that reality is that Jesus is truly the King. He is truly King. And not just king over his household, not just king over the people of Israel, not just king in that time period, but truly that Jesus is king over all that was, all that is, and all that will be. Truly, he is the great Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and the end. And his reign will have no end. And this is what the gold represents: the kingship of Jesus Christ, the Almighty. And then from the gift of gold, then the wise men bring him the frankincense. Frankincense to offer have I, incense owns a deity nigh. Prayer and praising, all men raising, worship him, God the Most High. And this frankincense would have been reserved to the priest. It would have been used for the burnt offerings and the sacrifices in the Old Testament. It was a part of the Levitical law. But it also shows and reveals the divinity of Jesus. The true reality that he is. He is God. He is co-eternal. That in the beginning, he was there. Jesus was not created by God as a rescue mission whenever men entered into sin, but truly the Lord was there from the beginning. Let us make men in our image and likeness in Genesis. Jesus is co-eternal with the Father. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. We heard those words on the Christmas morning Mass on December 25th. That in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So truly Jesus is God, the second person of the Trinity, the Son of God. Truly he was. And the wise men recognized this and identified this and paid homage to this by giving them this gift of frankincense. And of course, the divinity of Christ, recognized in this moment, will continue to unfold throughout his life. It would continue to unfold whenever Simeon had that prophecy that, Lord, now you let your servant go in peace. Your word has been fulfilled. My own eyes have seen the salvation which you have in mind for your people Israel. His divinity would continue to be revealed whenever they lost him in the temple and Mary and Joseph found him again preaching. His divinity would be revealed as he turned water into wine at the wedding of Cana. It was revealed whenever the cloud split open when John the Baptist baptized him and the Lord's voice came booming down from heaven. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. His divinity was revealed through his calling the apostles and showing them the great miracles of the blind able to see, the mute able to speak, the deaf able to hear, the lame able to walk, those possessed by demons suddenly cured from that. His divinity was continued to be shown even to the point of him giving his life upon the cross and then rising again on the third day. The divinity that was recognized by the wise men continues to be shown throughout his life and ministry, and then also continues to be shown right here in our world. So we have gold representing the kingship of Christ, the frankincense representing that he is God, that he is divine, and there's one more, and that is the myrrh. And the wise men said, "Myrrh is mine, is bitter perfume breeze, a life of gathering gloom, sorrowing, sighing, bleeding, dying, sealed in the stone-cold tomb." And once again, a strange gift to give an infant, a baby, a 2-year-old baby. This ointment that would be used, this perfume that would be used to prepare a corpse to be laid to rest. How morbid it seems. How morbid does that seem? But truly it represents the recognition that this would be the suffering servant. Yes, King, yes, God, but also the servant to all. And this is what the prophets foretold, brothers and sisters, throughout the ages, that there would be one coming who would be mighty, but yet who would still suffer for your sake and for my sake. And so truly, the wise men pay homage to Christ so well. They pay him homage so well by giving him these gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And the Lord certainly received these with great welcome. But brothers and sisters, in a beautiful way, as we celebrate today the giving of gifts to Christ, we recognize that the Lord has given us great gifts. And some days it's harder to recognize the gifts that the Lord gives us than others. But truly the Lord does give us gifts. And there's many that might come to mind, the gifts that God has given you. Your family, your friends, your faith, your job, all of that, your home. The Lord gives us great gifts. But today, I remind you that the Lord has given you gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Those are the gifts that the Lord has given you. And he has given this to you freely and by merit of your baptism, your holy baptism. Because when you were baptized, when you entered through those waters, brothers and sisters, you were changed. You were changed in a fantastic, beautiful way. You became claimed as something else, something new, a profound creation in the plan of God. And so through this, you receive the gold because you are the Son of the Most High, and you share his inheritance. And his inheritance is the kingdom of heaven, is the kingdom of God, which is truly a kingdom. And you receive this role as a king, and you are to remind others of this wonderful kingdom that is here on earth, but is also here to come. You received frankincense by becoming a beloved son, a beloved daughter of God, of Christ the high priest. And with that, you have a responsibility to share with all the knowledge, the love, the service of God for all those that you encounter. And by showing that in all you say and all you think and all that you do, you remind others of this reality, that the Lord is divine and that we are called to live like him. Yes, we are not divine, but we are divinely created. We are divinely and wonderfully made. And the Lord also gives us this gift of myrrh. Being a Christian isn't easy. And I hope you've realized this. I've realized it throughout my life, that being a Christian is not always easy. It's not always a walk in the park, sunshine and flowers, but there are difficulties. How much easier it would be to not have a moral conduct. How much easier it would be to do whatever I want. But that's not the life of the Christian. The life of the Christian requires sacrifice. And the Lord reminds us of this again and again and again. And he tells us, if you want to be my follower, take up your cross and follow me. And this is what we do. We take up the cross and we continue to deny ourselves of certain pleasures, of certain things that we want or desire, trusting and knowing that the Lord will provide for us all that we truly need, and realizing that his plan is so much greater than anything we have. And we continue to die to our own will, to die to self. And brothers and sisters, we never stop with the crucifixion. The crucifixion is never the end of the story. But after 3 days, the resurrection follows. And so when we find ourselves denying ourselves and following and picking up our cross, and our crosses are heavy at some times, we always remember that the resurrection is just around the corner. And the resurrection is for those who follow the Lord faithfully. So today, brothers and sisters, we should be rejoicing in a beautiful, great way at the presence of the three wise men, of the Magi, who come bearing these gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which remind us of the kingship, the divinity, and the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the child born to us on December 25th. And we should continue to give the Lord the gift of our life. Give him the gift of our life so that we may truly share with him that kingship, that divine love, and that sacrifice, and that we may truly experience and love him all the days of our life. So when we hear that song, We Three Kings, let us be reminded of these profound, great spiritual realities that the Lord has so tremendously blessed us all with. Amen.